As India continues to collide north into China, the Earth skyrockets miles above the sea, sculpting the breathtaking Himalayan mountains. Snowmelt and runoff converge off the Tibetan Plateau, creating some of the world's largest river corridors that support millions of people and countless ecosystems. China's rivers are the lifeblood of this world's booming economy, but their ecological health and their ability to sustain the communities that depend upon them has never been more in danger than now. Due to overpopulation and overconsumption, the Chinese government is choosing to harness the power of these mighty rivers to support its rapid growth in their race for modernization. And within the next 10 to 15 years, over 150 new large dams will be constructed on the country's last remaining intact river systems. This is the story about the last experience of the Yangtze River before it's completely underwater and transformed.
So pretty much what they're doing is they're killing a river, right? They're killing what is the, it's like this right here, your arteries and your veins. That's what rivers are to the planet, and they're cutting one of those off, a very important one. They're cutting a bunch of them off, and they're they're levying these rivers so that they aren't free flowing. They're killing the ecology of a river, and they're consequently killing the environments which have supported and endorsed cultures that have lived here and evolved here and existed here for thousands of years.
Yeah, I guess part of what to me is such a tragedy here of what's going on, of this conversion of basically a living river into a series of reservoirs that will in effect be dead reservoirs, is just the fact that no one's been here, and so they really don't know what's even being lost.
China is undergoing its largest project since the Great Wall. Dammed, diverted, and polluted, China's rivers are becoming an ecological disaster. In their efforts to cut back on the coal-generated greenhouse gases, the government is choosing to harness the power of hydroelectric energy. Today there are nearly 26,000 large dams in China, and now its largest river is home to the construction of 14 massive hydroelectric projects.
To just point downstream and go. In fact, do the exact opposite. Look back upstream. Take the time to appreciate where you are, because it is a magnificent place, obviously, and we are also very lucky in that we are getting to see it in advance of its imminent demise. So breathe it all in. Breathe it all in for the sake of everybody who doesn't get the opportunity to come here, right? And now this story is ours to pass along to other people.
Peace world. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. The music need a little more heart, little more soul. Either too hot or a little too cold. Way too many shallow verses, nothing deep, grab the surface. Too weak to be defined as timeless, so we gotta guide these blinded rhymers away from the shiny diamonds and fancy coats. Show 'em what matters most. Rappers boast, stunt and show ball, scared to be looked at as something so soft. Trying to be hard, but they hardly real. Make so-called music you hardly feel. That's why they leave a lot left to be desired. So I try to write to rekindle the fire, lifting it higher. The simple man with a pen, trying to give you something you can feel again. He who's in love with the art should know it's always best to come from the heart. When the music don't feel the same, need to let the world feel your pain. He who's in love with the art should know it's always best to come from the heart. When the music don't feel the same, need to let the world feel your pain.
So this whole thing's an uphill battle, right? Because we're working, and unfortunately there's an entity here in China that's working to develop big hydro, and they're working their way upstream on the Yangtze, on the Great Bend specifically where we work, and they're just building one dam after the next, and chewing away at what we had perceived as being a really great section to take people down and run rivers, and so they are building dams really aggressively.
Obviously, the future of this river has already been determined, and that future is a series of 13 reservoirs with no free-flowing rivers between, no free-flowing sections of river even in between. And I guess to me that's kind of the biggest tragedy, really, is just lack of understanding of the loss that's happening out here.
H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. I was told not to hold back and broke brass for cast to use for healing. Say things that you ain't used to hearing. Don't believe everything the news revealing.
You can see the construction going on upstream, and it's like a very very sad to see those construction going on, because it's such a beautiful area and it's such a unique regions. So once the dam is on, it's going to be flooded, so we won't see it anymore, and our younger generation, our future generation won't see it anymore.
When the music don't feel the same, need to let the world feel your pain. He who's in love with the art should know it's always best to come from the heart. When the music don't feel the same, need to let the world feel your pain. He who's in love with the art should know it's always best to come from the heart. When the music don't feel the same, need to let the world feel your pain. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold. H-E-R, we be heart and soul, proud and bold.
So you can see how beautiful this area is, the gorge, the canyon, and it's going to be underwater after maybe 5 years. It's gone. So this is the bad news.
You know, it's really strange to be taking out here, knowing that this place soon is going to be underwater. These rocks we're sitting on, where we're talking right here, is going to be gone, and all the people who we've interacted with upstream are going to be flooded out of their homes. So yeah, it's really kind of a bittersweet trip, because it's kind of like watching the death of a really close friend.
Each year we've come back and things have been different. And when I say different, it's usually sort of a depressing side of different, where they're working on another dam or they're working further upstream, and this year they're working even more aggressively. Policy has accelerated the rate at which it's happening.
Generally speaking, the guys making the big decisions, the power people in Beijing and Shanghai and wherever else, the places that make these decisions, you know, these people haven't ever experienced these places. They really don't understand, I think, what they're losing in this race for modernization, in this race for power and the money that power can generate, you know.
Singing, don't worry.
In China, power generation has won out over conservation. These projects have forced more than 10 million people from their homes and land, many of whom are still suffering the impacts of displacement and relocation. Although hydropower seems green, the consequences of these projects is putting more pressure on the land and the communities that have survived off the rivers for thousands of years. As far as saving the Yangtze River, it's too late. But within China and the rest of the world, there still remains areas and rivers that have not taken this transformation yet, but are threatened by the possibility. And there is still hope to save them.
I think that it's an important thing to consider that our actions really do have impacts, because the perspective of us being, you know, kind of the culture of the United States of America and Western culture in large part, is that people don't necessarily agree with policy, but culture sells, and culture goes a long way. And the more we consume, the more that it perpetuates the need for these dams, and the more it perpetuates the desire in people that live in places like this to scrap an entire existence that is so much more pure.
You know, we lost a lot of battles in the States too before we won any of them. You know, we've got the Grand Canyon, but we lost Glen Canyon. And it's a tough one because we're not exactly a role model for environmentalism. I mean, we're the largest consumers on the planet, and it's tough to go to a developing nation, especially one with over 1 billion people, and say don't build dams, especially when they open a new coal-fired power plant every week in this country. But at the same time, you gotta believe, or I've gotta believe at least, that there's a better solution than what's going on right here.
The other day, we have a debate with Willie and Jed and me. we were talking about the future of the world. We see the future of the world is going to be finished because we want so much things. We want so much energy. So we were discussing if there's any chance to save this world. So, I mean, it's up to you to think about this idea, to think about it, whether you are able to save the world or not. Because it's, I mean, every individual is, you know, one of this big family of the world, you know. So your way of living and your way, your family, your country, and so on and so forth, you know, lead the ways. So I think there should be at least some opportunity for the humankind if they think about it and change the way they live. So I think there should be a bright future.
Follow me. I need it right on my destiny. Black wings upon my back, stacked in up on the table with the finger pointed back towards the planet that I came. At the gate locked out, don't want to be the one to get the light blocked out. The guy walked back, had the fight blocked out of his body, born again and screaming out again, but this'll be the last time out. The battlefield is raging on, but we the ones to quench the thirst of those who looking for some peace of mind among the drought. Music is the blade that sharpen daily, chopping his a demon's hatred, take it, turn it into love and spread it to the crowd. The lighthouse is my body and mind. I know my place upon this earth and I'm the one to make it shine. I yearn for the sunshine and that lies divine. It's my turn, this lifetime it ends on my sign. So learn I must, it's my last chance to make do. Fight or fuss, no time for bullshit, I'm through. Got to stay true, cause there is no part two. In this lifetime I beg for your light to shine through. I'm on my knees begging please to come through. I see the lights gonna follow me.
All I ask is that you let your light shine on, shine on.
I need it right on my destiny.
All I ask is that you let your light shine on.
I see the lights gonna follow me.
Ooh, me, you know I light the skies up. It's all cream of the crop, gon' rise up. Can't see it, player, open your eyes up. I'm just being myself now twice as much. I got the nicest touch, don't say I ain't the grouch no more. Better wisen up, cause I can get down and dirty, I'm earth.